Wait, hold on. Let me finish.
No, let me finish.
Welcome to Let Me Finish, the weekly podcast where we discuss what the hell's going on in pop culture, current events, and everything else in between.
We are your hosts. I'm Janice.
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Jillian. Grab a glass of wine and let's get started.
Welcome back. It is episode 27 of Let Me Finish.
Let me finish. Woo!
I am your host, Stacy, and we have
Janice.
I'm Jillian.
All right. Let's just get right into it. So, how was y'all's week?
My week was pretty chill. I mean, I am getting ready to go to Vegas for a little bit of fun. So I have been just getting ready for that. I need to make my hair appointment, my lash appointments, my nail appointments.
Work related? I thought it was for work.
It's for, like, we're going to be down there working Monday, but, like, it's supposed to just be celebration of our anniversary of the company.
Nice.
Oh,
so they're flying us out. We're staying at the Palms. It's going to be fun.
Ooh.
The Palms.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where they filmed Real World Vegas?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. And I know
this was years and years ago.
Because we're flying in Saturday night. So I know I'm planning on going out that Saturday night before all the festivities for the job start. Because I want to go to Dre's.
Can you not see, is Usher still there? I want to see him so bad, y'all.
Yeah, I do too.
I do too. So I think we should definitely try.
Since Kiki had a great time, I need to
Girl,
go have me a good time.
have a great time too.
Girl, I want him grab me, snap me in the audience. Yes, honey.
I ain't got no man that gonna be, terrorizing you on the
Whatever
internet.
man saying that you ain't put no ring on it, leave me alone.
Exactly.
My husband just told me to have a good time.
Yeah.
There
just,
you go.
Just make sure you come back.
Yeah.
That comes with security
Come on,
in your
it's
relationship.
Usher,
That's your baby. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We should definitely.
I
don't
want
know.
to see him so.
We've been
Janine, Jill, your birthday. Come on.
We said we wanted to New
Let's do
Orleans
it.
for her
After
birthday.
we did say.
After we done recording, we need to look into that because they do have like Usher packages, like you say at the MGM, because that's where he
Yes.
performs.
So which would
or
you
close by.
Which would you prefer to do, with New Orleans or Usher in Vegas?
I'm gonna be honest, Usher.
Okay,
Usher.
we can go to Vegas.
Usher.
I feel like I'm in Vegas like every 5 seconds now, but
Yeah.
I mean, but it's Usher.
yeah,
Usher.
No, but it's an.
I'm talking about having fun.
USHER.
YA. USHERRAYMOND. Now, baby, what you want to do to me? Got me feeling like Jodeci.
Okay.
All right.
The only Usher song I'm like, it's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top, cruising the street.
Yep.
No. My favorite, Love in the Club.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wanna have love in the club.
Usher has some
In the
bangers.
club.
He do. He has
Yeah.
a great catalog.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, we got completely sidetracked.
No, we didn't. That's
No,
what's
we
up.
didn't.
Because Usher is a good little topic. But
Yeah.
anyway, that was my week. I just plan to. I need to get my license renewed.
Okay, we're gonna
If
work
not,
on that.
I gotta get my passport. But
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much it.
What about
Pretty
you, Jill?
good. Pretty chill week is beginning of the month, so it's kind of hectic. And then I started a new series. Everyone keeps talking about these series. It's on Hulu. It's called The Bear.
Yes, I've heard about that.
have heard
Everyone
about
keeps
it.
talking about that, and I was just like, and then the podcast I listened to, Shits and Gigs.
Yeah.
The way they talked about this show, I'm just like, I gotta check it out. So one of the hosts on Shits and Gigs, he used to be in the hospitality industry and used to work in a restaurant, and so he kind of gets like the lingo as far as what it does when they are back of the house, as far as the cooks and all that stuff. And so for him, he was just like, oh my gosh, all this stuff that I learned and I'm used to, all this lingo, he gets it in a way that I'm still like,
So
I'm like, they be talking about stuff, I'd be like, what are they talking about?
So let's go back to make sure that everybody knows. So The Bear is the name of the show. It's on Hulu.
Yes.
And it's basically a series about a cook.
Okay, so I just started. I'm only halfway through there's only 2 seasons, so I'm halfway through the first season because I was watching it. I started like halfway through yesterday, and so yes, it's a cook. Anyone who's ever watched Shameless, the guy that played Lip, plays the main character in this series. And what it was is that he was a big time chef at this like really fancy restaurant in New York. His brother passed away and he's come back home to Chicago to take over his little, like, it's like a little casual dining spot, so they do many things on the menu. And he's trying to figure out, oh, how the hell did my brother run this place? And because they're in debt and dealing with all the cooks, and he's just not used to that. And so just
basically his journey,
you know,
keeping this restaurant alive,
keeping the restaurant alive, and making sure these people have jobs, and also dealing with the grief of
losing his brother.
Okay, that's not the show I thought you were talking about. I thought there was a show called The Bear where they had all this cocaine, and then the bear ate.
That's the Cocaine Bear.
That's Cocaine
That's
Bear.
a
That's a
movie.
movie.
Oh.
It's a movie.
And I just want to go back because the bear, the main guy from Lip, from Shameless, girl, they had a picture of him running somewhere in Hollywood last week, and he was looking good.
Yeah, he looks good.
His body was looking bang.
I mean, he was still that kind of grease ball kind of
he was looking good in
looking
pictures.
good, like the same way he was.
Pictures.
I wouldn't say he's the same as he was, same character as he was in Shameless, but it's like I said, I'm halfway through the first season, and it's starting to get really good. And so I'm be like, okay, I need to go as soon as I'm done here and I go back home, I'm gonna finish off the first season. But I'm just like, okay, I'm getting into this. I see why people, because you really see the character development, and of course with the writer's strike and the actor's strike, I'm not going to be having any new television for quite some time. And anyone who knows me, when it comes to television, I'm a huge television fanatic. I watch TV all the time, and so
Yes.
this striking it's gonna hurt because there's not going to be a lot of new content for a while.
Yeah, I heard my daughter talking about that. She
They
loves
deserve it.
what is that? Oh my gosh, Outer Banks. So
Are they? Oh yeah.
they had started filming season 4, I think, and then I guess now she's telling me that because of the writer's strike that they actually paused production.
Because now a lot of the actors because the Actors Guild, that they're members, so a lot of actors are on strike too because they paused Deadpool production. Ryan Reynolds is a member.
Okay, so what's going on right now? First, the Writers Guild. So all the writers struck,
Right.
which means that there's no new scripts.
Right.
So if the script is already made, that's cool. But now they have the problem is that the actors have struck too, which means that there's no actors. So a lot of my shows that I would watch, and usually end of September is when all my new shows would start with their new seasons, is as far as network television. As far as like streaming services, theirs can start at any time. But as far as like network television, most of their new shows, so they would be coming back to start production and actually acting out the episodes, and that way their first episodes would start in end of September, beginning in October, which based on them being on strike, they haven't even gone back to work yet. So it's
needless to say,
That's what she
we're
was
not
telling
getting any new content.
She was like,
So
I won't have any new shows or movies.
Yeah, there's not going to be any new shows because they're saying like really nothing new probably through the end of this year, and probably not until 24 any new shows if they come to an agreement. And
they need to settle this. Pay these people. Okay,
exactly.
I need my shows.
They need
Pay
to,
these people.
I need my shows, because I think the only show that I watch that's still in production is only because they film overseas and it's a part of different union, is House of Dragon, which I'm a huge Game of Thrones, House of Dragon fan. So
reality TV will be okay, right?
They have no writers.
Yes.
So is there writers in reality TV?
It will be a little bit more.
They don't have scripts.
Right, so it doesn't affect them.
It shouldn't affect them.
It'll affect them a little bit because they don't have
but they'll
writers.
still be putting out content.
Shout out to the reality show lovers.
Yes.
That's me.
No, we'll still have
I'll
our
be good.
housewives and all that.
Yeah, girl,
We
that's
don't
all I
have our
need.
trash TV.
I have my trash TV. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love Outer Banks.
Yeah,
I
she
do
was
have
upset
certain
because she
shows.
was like, "I'm ready for Outer Banks," but she said they're not filming right now.
And they already take a year in between each of them, so
I
God
know.
knows. Okay,
Yeah,
well.
especially those
And then
streaming
they lose
shows.
the hype, they lose the traction. So we'll see.
Oh no, the shows that I like: Euphoria, Last of Us, House of Dragon.
Those are HBO shows. I'm talking
HBO
about like
shows.
Netflix.
I think HBO is going to be able to bounce back quicker because typically it could be a year and a half, almost 2 years in between seasons. So that's not unusual for their shows, because I always say with HBO, when it comes to their quality of their shows, it is movie quality. You get movie quality shows for an hour every week. So
Right.
it's a little different.
Yeah. Chokeholds.
Oh well, what about my week? I
Oh,
haven't
I'm
told y'all
sorry.
yet. I didn't do anything this week, y'all. You know, I have family in town. They're actually leaving tomorrow. So, we did some back to school shopping.
Your sister's in there cooking. I can smell it. I'm ready to go eat.
Yeah, we did back to school shopping because Kylie starts school next week. So that's about it. So my week was just quick, easy peasy.
You didn't take part in any tax-free weekend? I think that was this weekend.
She said she was going to avoid it last week.
I tried to avoid it. Oh, okay. And I really hate going out on the weekend. So we did our shopping. Like my perfect day is like on a Monday or Tuesday when the stores are like empty. We did a lot of online ordering, like for shoes and stuff, because the stores just don't have a lot of stuff. Especially like
they're
shoes.
Not going to.
So we do a lot of online shopping and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyway, that was my week. So let's just jump into any chokeholds. I got one. But y'all could go first.
From Euphoria. What's his name? Angus
Cloud.
Yeah.
He passed away. That was really sad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so same thing that happened when the guy from Spartacus passed away. It's like, yes, I'm so sad that he passed away, but then in my head, because when those people pass away, I'm more committed to the person they were playing on TV. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the
actual person, right?
I know, but I'm like,
because you don't really know these people, and yeah, I get it, because I felt the same way when Paul Walker passed away. My first thought was, what are they going to do about Fast and Furious? Because they were filming whenever he passed away.
Horrible. I think
I felt
it's
bad
that I think that way, but my head is thinking, oh my God, but he was just about to be in love on Euphoria with that girl.
Yeah. And I think his father he had just buried his father a week before. And they were saying it's a possible drug overdose or something. They say
they don't know.
I've
heard they haven't specified. They don't know if it's drugs or suicide. They did link it back to, because whoever was his manager was Britney Spears' manager, and they were saying how, like, what's going on with him, what does he do to people's mental health. I was like, well, I don't know about that, but they are saying that they have the same manager and it could be something like mental.
Could be. I mean, sad. Just losing a parent is tough.
I think it could be suicide. I think that's what
they haven't confirmed. Cause of death has not been released, so we're not going to speculate.
Yeah.
I can speculate.
I mean, I'm saying we should
just make sure you say allegedly.
Speculate. I'm just saying, out of respect for their family, we shouldn't speculate.
I really hate to speculate, but I'm like, I speculate all the time.
I mean, I'm just saying that's what it's saying online, at least. They haven't confirmed anything.
What you got, Jill? You got anything?
No.
Oh, well, I got something. Jamie Foxx, he basically tweeted, I don't have the actual tweet up, but in the jest, all he said is, like, if they can do it to Jesus, they can do it to you. And then he did hashtag fake friends, hashtag fake love, and for whatever reason, people just thought that what he said was anti-Semitic, and I'm like, how? Yeah, I know he literally hashtag, he's talking about, when he says they, he means his fake friends who are showing him somebody betrayed him, right?
Yeah, clearly.
So, but he put out an apology.
They just did not like the biblical reference at all.
He issued an apology to the gay community. I mean, child.
Jewish.
Please don't cancel me. I meant Jewish.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right. Okay.
You gotta be careful.
I know. You can't say anything too much. You cancel. So he put out. He actually apologized. So I felt like he shouldn't have apologized.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, I don't think Jamie Foxx had any bad intentions, but just because you don't have bad intentions doesn't mean that the effect that happened, you can't have bad effect based on your actions. So just because I didn't have bad intention doesn't mean that it couldn't have affected somebody negatively.
Why?
I just don't understand how that affected them negatively.
I get it. I understand what he meant. I assume mind you, we're not Jewish. So when he said that, I just assumed he meant he was referring to the betrayal of
that is what he
Jesus
meant.
As far as Judas
said,
one of his apostles,
fake friends.
Stacey, I get it.
Okay.
But like I said, we're not a part of the Jewish community. So just because we don't feel the effect of what those words meant or intended doesn't mean that this person can't say, hey, as a Jewish person, that negatively affected me. I can't say, well, no, you shouldn't but I can't say that because I'm not the one that's affected.
No, they made an assumption. He said I
understand.
It's what happened in the Bible. It's a part of the story.
Girl, you better hush before we get canceled. We haven't made it yet.
I'm just like,
right?
No,
Come back years later on her podcast in 2023.
Yeah,
she said,
let's tread lightly,
right?
y'all.
No, what I'm saying is that just because like I said, I know that Jamie, based on it, like I said, I never took it that way. I never took it as anti-Semitic.
I didn't either.
But like I said, I'm not a part of the affected community as far as I'm not Jewish, so I can't say. It's like when a black person says, "Ooh, that was racist," and people say, "It's not really racist. What are you talking about?" Like the whole controversy with that try that in a small town.
I think
they were constantly gaslighting black people, telling them it's not that racist. It didn't overtly, just because you don't overtly say, "Hey, we're gonna come hang you because you're black," does not mean we can't read between the lines. So like I'm
hold
saying,
on. Okay,
wait, hold on, let me finish. So what I'm
you've been talking for a little bit.
What I'm just saying, I'm not going to do the same thing to the Jewish community. I understand that, and I think that's what he's apologizing, not necessarily for what he said, because he knows his intention. That's not what I meant. I apologize that it affected you negatively. This is what I meant, or I understand why he did what he did. Like I said, I don't think he had bad intentions. I'm just, unfortunately, it had a bad effect on another group. So for that, you can apologize for, not necessarily for the comment. And you just take that situation and learn and move on.
I'm going to tread lightly.
Okay, Janice, go ahead.
Only thing I was going to say is I was going to say, to me, it's the same feel as when we as black people in the black community, when people go, "You people,"
yeah,
and you're like, "Who's you people?
What you mean you people?
What you mean you people?"
Yeah,
it's more like that. But I do think it goes to a whole nother level when you're saying it's anti-Semitic. But
I didn't think it was.
I think you're taking it to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
like, yes, okay, you might be offended. Like, hold on, now who are you talking about?
But he clarified. He had
who
the
you
hashtag.
talking about.
And I think
I don't think he wasn't coming for the Jewish community.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think he was.
And
he just needed to clarify.
I'm saying. And I can empathize with that situation where you're grouped in, and I feel like it's the group in, it's the they of it all.
But here's my thing. The reason why I feel like there was no need to apologize is because it's not like he left it at question who they was, because he literally hashtag in his initial tweet.
Friends.
He said hashtag fake friends, hashtag fake love. So what do you mean who's they? He said it right there. Fake friends. Like, for me, it was very
he just
blatant.
went to a religious standpoint on
so
it.
So if
and
you're
it could
offended
be,
by that, that's like a you problem.
To me.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah.
It's just, to me, it's like, maybe figure out what he means by it. He
what
clarified
is there to figure
himself.
It out? He literally says it in the original tweet.
He clarified himself. I think Jennifer Aniston went and liked it. People came for her. And I do think and that's kind of what we want to talk a little bit, I think, today, too, is the cancel culture and how far are we going to let this go? I mean, because is it going to be the point where he's canceled because he's talking about people like Jewish people? I mean, I don't know.
He wasn't talking about Jewish people.
But you issue your apology, and I think a lot of people have to do that these days, is come out,
it's like
apologize,
you're constantly
apologize. You can't even speak anymore without, stepping on anybody's little toes and, getting somebody upset about something. So it's rough out there.
It is. And you do have to tread lightly.
To be very careful what you say. Like I think now, like everything, like even what I post online and like even just doing the podcast, I mean, like, who are we? We're just Julian, Janice, and Stacy, right? We're big,
but we still have in our own heads.
We still have to be very careful because you never know what we might be years from now.
Right.
And they love to go back
and pull receipts. That's
what I'm saying. She said this, and I feel like, come on, like. We're not like, we love everybody.
We're going to try to turn around and pull this whole episode.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it's just crazy that you're scared to even speak.
Yeah,
right.
And I think we shouldn't be afraid to speak, but we also need to also have open conversation. I'm always willing to learn. I always tell people I don't have bad intentions, and if I say something because I didn't have the knowledge, once I do gain the knowledge, please believe I will correct going forward.
Absolutely.
And I think we should definitely give Jamie Foxx the opportunity to do that.
And that's the reason why I'm glad that we don't like to just dive too much into politics and religion and stuff, because that can really get you.
It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, like into
any little thing could tip you.
So.
It's like a fine balance, and any little thing can tip that balance off.
Yeah,
any little thing. Yeah, any comments.
But I love Jamie. he's going through a lot right now. I mean, yeah, let's just.
So that's what I'm saying. It could be somebody betrayed him.
Well, he said it was a fake friend.
Revealed his medical information. Who knows what it was? Know. Yeah.
So let's just give him some grace.
Absolutely. And I think he literally was just saying, "I was betrayed." Simply. Yeah.
So let's take a quick break, and then we'll just come back and
get right back
into it. And we are back, and let's just jump right into it. So we're talking about the whole Lizzo situation. I'm sure y'all have heard, but there's been it's a civil lawsuit that's been filed.
She has some lawsuits against her. Three dancers have filed sexual harassment charges against her. And I think assault.
Yeah,
there's several. So when I was looking on here,
which is crazy because it just, for me, it feels like it came out of nowhere, but obviously I'm not the person in it, but it feels like it just came out of nowhere. Things were kind of quiet for her for a little bit, and then bam, sexual harassment charges. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So this is from E! News, and they says that she's been accused of creating a hostile, abusive work environment. In the complaint obtained by E! News on August 1st, Crystal Williams, Ariana Davis, and Noel Rodriguez alleged they were subjected to a wide range of mistreatment while working with the singer, including sexual harassment, weight shaming, and disability discrimination. In addition, the performers are also suing Lizzo's Big touring production company and dance captain Shirlene Wigley, who they claim often preached about her Christian views while also oversharing luridly detailed stories about her masturbation habits and sexual fantasies, occasionally taking breaks to publicly practice her oil skills on bananas in front of the dance crew.
But that wasn't Lizzo, though. That's a Shirlene. No. That's a Shirlene person.
Yeah,
from the production. Okay.
Oh, that's the thing you were talking about, Stacey, about the banana thing.
Yeah.
It's okay, but it's her company, and it's a hostile work environment. Yeah. So, yeah.
So there's more than one person named in the lawsuit.
Now it makes sense. Okay, so now it's more so like there were things happening that people were exposed to that were probably not corporate or professional.
Exactly.
And now they're calling them out for sexual harassment about it, which is just
that particular aspect. I guess
you don't want to see it, walk away.
Yeah. It's one of those things where when it comes to corporate, it's one of those things where,
it's like an HR issue.
It definitely is an HR issue, and I don't know how that works as far as when you're in a creative spaces, being dancers or artistic space. I don't know how that works, but it's one of those things where,
that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah,
everywhere.
It was one of those things where
people sue all the time.
Yeah.
But
it's just they probably thought they had like I'm sure they were like, oh, we can trust these people. They're not going to say anything. They're not offended. And then you just find out that one random person is offended, because it happens all the time where, you're thinking, oh, we're just laughing and joking. And then that one person's offended, which is why you always have to be careful.
Yeah, because then they file a complaint. It's one of those things where I think with Lizzo, it's one thing if you made it known that this was offensive and she did nothing. Is that what's going on? Or it happened? And so it's one of those things where we all discussed, and we were kind of saying like, this just got filed on August 1st. It's now only
the 6th.
Today's the 6th.
Yeah.
So it's only been a couple days. She's responded saying, hey, these are false allegations.
You're ruining my character.
So she did file it. So we said that, like I said, these are celebrities. We really don't know these people. So we're reserving judgment. We're not saying that she didn't do it, or she did these things that are being alleged aren't true, or it is is not true, or they're lying. So it's one of those things where until it's fleshed out, we
really don't know. But from my perspective, it seems like one of those things where people, it's just this Gen Z lifestyle where it's every little thing is offensive. Every little thing is like, I can't believe you. So we'll see. Maybe there's stuff that will come out and it'll be like, yeah, that was effed up. That shouldn't have happened to you. Or because I know I just watched an interview with the girl, and she was basically like, the girl was having a meeting with all of her dancers, and she was basically saying, people are gaining weight, and people are going to get dancers get fired for gaining weight, right? That's your profession. You're a dancer. I want a certain look. If you don't match that look, you don't match the look. now you're coming to me saying I have anxiety issues, I have depression issues. Well, maybe you shouldn't be a dancer on a tour. Maybe not my tour.
Yeah,
and then I think this is where it's coming from, where they're like, well, we felt like we'll be fired. Well, yeah, you can get fired for gaining weight as a dancer. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
you're not special because you're a bigger dancer.
We were talking about this earlier this morning, and we're talking about, man, this is a big difference, because I know growing up, we all watched Making the Band. And what was the name of the choreographer? Shelly-Ann, or
was it Lorianne Gibson?
Lorianne Gibson.
Lorianne Gibson.
The way she did Danity Kane when they were rehearsing,
even the band,
in the band, I'm like, she was brutal, and she's doing this stuff on camera. I can't even imagine.
Things were different back then. Like,
Diddy made them walk to freaking Brooklyn and go get cheesecake
for Junior's cheesecake.
Is that not hostile?
Yeah, it is. I mean, in fact, now when it comes to reality television shows, those production companies are getting sued now. Because I don't know if it was Big Brother or some other production company, or if it was Real World or somebody.
I did see something about somebody on the challenge where basically a girl was assaulted, like sexually assaulted, like raped, and they covered it up. And 3 of the guys that were a part of that, they're no longer a part of the show, and I think they got sued individually as well as MTV. Yeah. But it was, I forget her name, Tanya, I think it was the person was, she alleged that she was raped, and it was raped by like 3 of the guys, which I'm not going to say their names because I don't know if they were ever convicted of it. But I know all 3 of the guys that were allegedly involved are no longer a part of MTV in any shape, way, or form. So I likely they were convicted, and they did do it.
Yeah.
I mean, well, something like that, obviously, yes, that needs to be addressed, and we want convictions, and we need those production companies to know what's going on. But I mean, I just feel like some of the things that's going on, like back in the 90s, I mean, not that it should have been okay back then, but I just feel like when you're like you were talking earlier about just like ballerinas and dancers and stuff. I mean, like they had to be so skinny, and that's part of their job criteria. Like you have to maintain a certain weight,
or a certain look, even
a look.
Because like, Janice used to watch the movie Center Stage.
Yeah,
certain things like the way their foot is shaped, they're just there was very specific criteria. Your neck, just certain criteria, and because they're trying to portray a certain look for a ballerina. Just because I know I sure as hell couldn't be a ballerina.
Me neither.
Because I physically, I'm not at that
can't
level.
Obtain that body.
So do you think it's wrong now for?
No.
Do you think it's like the standards that were set back then? Do you think that we should still have those set standards now, or if
you're paying somebody to do something, you can hire whoever you want, and you can have whatever look you want,
right?
Yeah.
And
so you think it's completely okay? Because I think it's okay. If you tell me this is what I'm looking for.
Now, do I think it's different when you're telling that girl, well, you can't be a ballerina at all because of your body?
No.
That's different.
That's different.
But yeah, maybe I don't get to go work for the top New York dance company because they want a certain look.
There's expectations.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That's what makes the best of the best. If I'm if I'm hiring you and I say this is what I'm looking for, can you produce this?
And if you're the exception, you're the exception.
And there can be exceptions. Like I was when it comes to anything creative, as far as dancing, modeling, like to be a runway model, you have to be a certain height. So if I don't hit that certain height, it doesn't mean that I'm not good enough or I can't model. It just means runway modeling is not for me.
And go find the companies that are okay with the 5'5" runway model. Some of them are.
Yeah. Or just do print modeling. And there's so many other types of modeling.
There's different things for everybody. And that's why I'm saying, I think we were saying earlier, it's just like whatever happened to sticks and stones may break your bones.
I know.
Right? But words will never hurt you. Like I'm saying, like, okay, the girl, she quote unquote fat shamed you, said you need to lose some weight, pressuring you to whatever happened to say no peer pressure. The girl said to do like, because there was this whole allegation, they went to some strip club in Amsterdam, there were fully nude people there, and she was saying that she was being pressured to touch the performers. Okay, say no.
Right.
I'm good. Then apparently Lizzo allegedly started doing a chant to encourage her to touch the person. Okay, well, I'm gonna go, y'all. I'm gonna go.
But here's the thing, too. That's why I
know I wouldn't put myself in a situation if I wasn't gonna be comfortable seeing all nude people.
But here's the thing.
Go.
I think if I was at the level that Lizzo is, I wouldn't be there with my dancers or...
Yeah. And I think that's where she made the mistake.
Because you open up yourself to this.
That's what happens, you know, when you get certain level of notoriety.
Yeah.
Even in
It's
just
not
our regular
Yeah.
life, like I'm in my company, I'm in management, I'm in upper management.
Yeah.
I can't go and kick it with my coworkers like that
Yeah.
because I need to be able to hold a certain line.
Yes.
Right. And then one little thing I might say while I'm out drinking could turn into a harassment lawsuit.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you do just like how I have to be careful, she has to be just as careful. And I think the difference is she trusted the people
Quite
she was
possibly.
around.
And it could have all been in like
dancers.
harmless fun. Maybe
Exactly.
she didn't even maybe
In
she
her
didn't
mind.
even notice that the person was
This was
feeling
my
a certain kind of
friend.
way, you know?
Because girl, I've been to a strip club. I've definitely told my friend, touch it. Go ahead. But I'm kidding. And if you don't want to, you don't have to do it.
But when you're that level, she had no business being
Yeah,
there with them.
I think
that's what I'm saying. That's where she made her mistake.
Yeah, 100% made a mistake because it's one of those things that whether you're in
That you
management
employ
or
them.
you as an employee, me as an employee, I'm not hanging out with upper management simply because there's shit that I do in my private life when I'm clocked out is none of your business. So it's one of those things where we're not going to have that friendly relationship.
But I think it's vice versa because if I'm the employee, you're the employer. What I do really doesn't mean anything. What you do means more.
But what at the end of the day, as my employer, you have power over me. You may see I do something in my personal life that you don't agree with and take that out on me at
now
work.
I could say retaliation though.
Retaliation,
Which
so
is
that's
still
why
the
we keep that
company's
separate.
issue. It's not the employee's problem; it's the employer. Because now, because I went out with you, you didn't like what I did, you fired me. Ooh, retaliation. Now you're still in a compromising position.
That still messes up my life. Even though I mean I can technically go back and sue, that still messes up my life.
There's a thin line.
I think there's just more for the employer or the management person to lose. You're putting in a higher risk.
Of course, but I don't want to. I don't even want to be in that situation. As I think that's
because
why
I have definitely hung out with my upper
I'll hang out with upper management and trust me, I'm taking notes and I'm watching.
No, see, and that's the thing.
Listen, I'm peeping stuff because if some shit hit the fan, I'll be like, okay, well.
See, and I've been doing this a long time, and that's the complete opposite. What we do outside of work, we're doing outside of work. I'm your employee, you're my manager, but right now we're outside of work.
Listen,
nothing happened.
If I'm with upper management, I'm peeping stuff. Like, I'm cool. I'm not going to say
upper
nothing, but if something happens later, baby,
baby,
don't. I'll throw you ass under the bus.
At that point, girl, let me just move on with my life. Goodbye. I'll see y'all.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things where you sometimes with your manager or your boss, you do have to be guarded, and you don't need to reveal everything.
You just have to be careful, and you need to protect yourself, and you need to protect where you work because you're representing the company. And that's just how they train you when they're training you in any type of leadership 101.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been bosses who have done drugs at parties and in front of their employees. Like, what are you thinking? Like, this same employee,
of course that happens. Like, they'll do it in front of people who they feel like, quote unquote, they can trust.
And the same person can come back and just
that
ruin,
same person
ruin
can
you
turn
later.
around and you're right. Yeah, which is why you just don't put yourself in the situation.
You should not.
You really should. I know personally. If I know some shit on my boss and they about to throw me under the bus,
I'm
be
throwing
like,
your ass under the bus.
all right, come on.
I'm like, come on,
because
I feel like that's going to cause way more drama in my life than I even really want. So just go ahead and terminate me. I'll go somewhere else.
No, if you're trying to come,
if I feel like something unfair is being happening, baby. Oh, okay, cool.
Remember when we were at that party?
Remember when? There's some people I will protect. Other people I'm just like, well, we weren't that close.
Listen,
so
I'm not one to tell people's business or anything like that, but I do. Like, I do peep stuff, and I don't forget anything either.
Yeah,
and I like to have receipts.
Exactly.
Girl, see, and that's the thing. Like, I'm like, I don't want to have to think about all that. Like, and that's exactly why
you just don't.
As a person that has been in leadership for so long,
just don't do it.
I just don't do it because you really don't know. So I'd rather not even mix it. And if I do, it needs to be somebody I trust.
Yeah. It's one of those things. My old manager says that we're friends on Facebook now because he left the company, but he goes, I don't follow any of my employees on social media because I guess at his previous job
I don't know you there anymore.
Removed
everybody.
They were friends on Facebook, and he tried this person tried to call out via Facebook Messenger, and he's like, oh, hell no, that is not the proper channel,
ma'am.
What to do that?
So basically, on their Facebook Messenger, you were like, "Hey, I'm not gonna make it in, girl."
No,
That don't count.
This does not count. I didn't even see it.
You gotta call in and do that stuff. But yeah, he says like after that, he said that that's his steadfast rule that as long as you work for the they both work, him and whoever works for the company, they cannot be friends on any social media.
My last company, like if a employee left, you were to block them.
Why?
My last one, yeah. It wasn't like a rule or requirement. They just suggested it because of just
Now I will
drama.
say, if I really don't like to,
And it did help.
people that I work with, I don't like for them to follow me on social media because don't worry about what I'm doing. Like, what if I call out and say I'm sick, but then my ass is really like,
Oh my god, I hate when people do
first of
that.
all,
It
don't
happens all the
don't send me a
time.
friend request.
I'm like,
no.
you're not even
I
being
don't-
smart about your lies. So you're gonna sit there and tell me you sick, and now I see you shaking your ass on
I
your
don't
story.
post, I don't post that stuff on
What are you
social
doing?
media.
What are you
Like,
doing?
if I tell you I'm sick, but I post a cute selfie, obviously you're going, no, I'm not sick. So don't follow me.
That selfie could be from old, and then you gotta
Yeah,
explain
'cause-
yourself. That selfie was taken 4 days ago before I was sick.
Like, here's
you
my
got a
thing.
whole
Don't
thing.
send me a friend request because I'm not going to accept it. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
I went through that whole situation where I did let people follow me and I had to go and remove everybody.
Oh yeah. Don't worry about
unless you're
what
in
I'm
management,
doing.
no, I
So
can't.
yeah, when it
It's
comes
just too much.
when it comes to social media, because I would have random people like friend request me, and I'm just like, I've only talked to you on the phone. We've never even hung out in person. So for those, I just leave them on.
Well, they'll do the people you may know.
Unresponded.
They'll do the people you may know, and so they might just see you and be like, "Oh, I know her," and just add you.
And that's why I just leave those requests as unanswered.
Girl,
I
you know how
just-
many requests I have in my.
I stopped accepting friend requests on
Yeah.
Facebook. I'm not even on Facebook that often.
And nowadays, the way it happens with like hacking, somebody hack people your
You
page.
always get hacked.
So I'm
Yes.
just like, yeah, at this point, I don't even want to add people on my Facebook or my Instagram. Nah, I'm done with that life.
And-
if you didn't know me before, I don't know
and
you
because
now.
of your situation, I have people that I actually know and that I'm friends with, and they'll send me like these little funny like reels. I ain't clicking on nothing.
Nowadays, I don't
send
want
me
to.
anything. I'm not clicking on it
Yeah.
because I'm scared.
if you're my real friend, you send me that funny shit in my text
to
messages.
be honest, yeah, the
I
only
don't click,
people's
people send it to me all the, I
Messenger-
don't click anything anymore.
the only messengers I'll open at this point is y'all's and my friend Ashley's because she
Even
sent
one
them to me all the
time,
time.
one of y'all sent something, and I was like,
You're
"Why
like,
did you?"
Janice, did you send this? I'm like, yes, it was me.
I'm like, why would she? I don't click shit.
Girl, because
You've been hacked like 3 times.
my Instagram got cut off, got hacked into like 3 different times, and I still can't get back into my
I don't click
original
on
one.
anything.
I'm done.
I'm like, why would
Yeah.
you send me this?
So yeah, because what was it? Was somebody that you thought you knew, or
It was
Yeah.
somebody I went to high school with, and she added me, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe she just lost her page, and then sure enough, girl sent me some link. I clicked it, instant, everything shut down. I was like,
yeah, she called me panicked.
Oh
I
my
was
God,
like, girl,
it was
I don't.
horrible.
I'd be like, I don't know what to do. I'm sorry.
And then one time I'm like looking at your Instagram. I'm like, what?
what's up with all these coins?
Bitcoin. I'm like, what?
Bitcoins.
She trying to tell me she made money. Like, girl, you didn't make no $10,000
That was on Bitcoin.
on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know.
Girl,
I
yes.
think another friend that I have from high school that
Oh, she was hacked too.
I think she was hacked too. And
Yeah,
I
I've
was
had
like,
a couple
ooh, that
people,
sucks.
and that's
I
what I'm
was
saying.
like-
They'll message me and be like, "Hey, I'm making money here. Do you?" Or now what they'll do is they'll start it off like the guy sliding in, and then know how to make money. Oh, delete.
Listen, don't.
Not that I'm going back and forth. With
If
them,
you're
but
friends with me on Instagram or Facebook, don't send me anything because it's just gonna sit there. Because
It's so
I don't open
random.
up anything.
it's
I
so
don't.
random. And now, if you message me and I haven't talked to you in years, I'm like, you're hacking.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So
It's
I
that
just
simple.
ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with Lizzo, I just at the end of the day, like I said, I like her music. I don't know her. I felt like she had a good message, being body positive
You
and all
love
that
Lizzo.
stuff. I love her music.
her
really
main
didn't- I really didn't
message,
like Lizzo.
I agree with you. Her main message is one of support, love. So I'm going to reserve just believing that she's doing this until I hear all the facts.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm gonna wait till everything comes out. I wasn't really a fan of Lizzo, but not for any. I just really didn't like her music.
I love it.
Oh, I think her
mean,
music's bomb.
I mean,
For
she had
sure.
like 1 or 2 songs. I know Jill loves Lizzo, but
I do.
Truth
know.
Hurts was bomb.
Yeah,
That song
I just
goes
didn't
hard.
really connect with Lizzo like that. But
I did. I loved her.
it's
music.
weird. It does seem like all of a sudden, like everything's coming at her from like all different directions out of nowhere.
It does.
But like I said, I would hate to sit up here and say that these people are lying, and I really don't know. So I'm not going to say that. I don't know.
And that's the thing. I don't think they're lying. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think they're lying. I think what they're saying is probably true. I just don't think it's. What are you suing this woman for?
I mean, they always say believe the victim, but then look what happened to look at Carly Russell.
I'm just saying. Do I think that the girl probably took them to a strip club and
she probably
encouraged
did.
them to touch naked bodies?
She probably did. Maybe.
Do I think that she was also in an intense industry?
Yeah.
So that's
well, we'll definitely follow
It's definitely
this one.
a fine line,
we'll
and it's
up.
one of those things where, like I said, it's in a creative space. Whether you're a dancer, singer, entertainment in general, it's a pretty cutthroat, and
Hollywood is dark,
and you are judged on your looks. And I think she was trying to do a positive thing, being, trying to hire dancers that maybe not typically would be hired by other production companies, and I think she was trying to make a difference.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So at the end of the day, we don't know.
Yeah,
Hopefully more things will come out. We'll reserve judgment. I hope it's not true.
I hope not.
And
Me
we'll
too.
go from there.
And the girl said that she deals with anxiety and depression. Maybe this is not the industry for you. That's all I'm saying.
So
but anyways,
we'll keep up with this one. We'll follow through and see what happens. But we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But please start leaving us comments and give us some topic ideas that y'all want to discuss. Moving forward. So we will see y'all. Go ahead, Janice.
I was going to just tell them, email us. You can always comment on our page, but you can email us at letmefinish@gmail.com. And of course, the E&me is the number 3. So email us. We want to hear from y'all.
Yeah, we want to hear from y'all. All right.
All right.
Anything else? Let's get out of here.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the platform you're listening on, and leave us a review.
We want to support local businesses, so if you'd like us to shout out your business, or if you have a topic suggestion, or even questions for our QA section, we want to hear from you. So reach out to us at letmefinish@gmail.com.
You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Let Me Finish. Don't forget that the E in me is the number 3. You can find me at New Jillian Who Dis on Instagram. Stacy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Mrs. Cams01. I'm also on TikTok, Mrs. Cams01, MRSKAMS01.
And Janice, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Uniquely Janice, and Facebook and TikTok, I'm just Janice Housen.
Okay. See you next week.
See you next week.
See you guys then.